Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Brandon Morbilius. Alongside here with me is cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy. Here on the WHS Network on YouTube.com. Here with the Lady Raider Volleyball coming your way here this evening from Yorktown High School in Yorktown, Indiana. We have the 6-0 Wapahani Lady Raiders taking on the 10-0 Yorktown Lady Tigers. Appreciate y'all joining us here this evening as we dig right into things with our Raiders Eye pregame presented by B. Joseph Davis, attorney at law. Very successful start to the season here for both teams, especially most notably here for Wapahani. Started out the year already 6-0, had a perfect weekend in the Wapahani Invitational, in which the Raiders were able to sweep the Knightstown Panthers as well as the Adams Central Jets and the Shenandoah Raiders to claim the 2019 Wapahani Invitational Championship. That was, again, we was not able to broadcast that, so that's why we was there still updating all of you on Facebook and Twitter there on Saturday. But everything else pretty much up to date. We've been on a long ride right here with you for the first 3 games of the season that we was able to broadcast. And like I said, a pretty successful weekend there for us in the Wapahani Invitational. So now you come back out here tonight, and what's also going to be a very tough week. You got Yorktown tonight, then Thursday right back at home against Jay County, in which that will be a very tough ball game right there. And so this week, obviously you're coming into every game thinking, hey, you're going to win this thing. If you go into every game thinking that you're going to lose, then what's the point of even playing? Because, really the fact of the matter is, Yorktown's got, no doubt more experience, quite a bit of talent as well, but Wapahani right there matching right there with them with as far as the talent goes. Experience, not so much. But, really, what we've been able to do here so far through the first 6 games, I like what I've seen from these young ladies. It's just, continuing to get better every single ball game. And we've got to come out here with the right mindset of you have to take it one point at a time, because I know in recent years when we've managed to play Yorktown, we've kind of gotten a little bit ahead of ourselves and end up not being as competitive of a ball game as what we was hoping for. Well, let's hope for not only a competitive ball game here tonight, but expect a win. Just because it's Yorktown or just because it's whoever, you still should expect to win every ball game. And so, again, you just got to take it one point at a time, continue to grind the game out, and come together as a team. And really, I talked about this before in other games, but this week, I think will definitely help you kind of judge where you're at a little bit here. That doesn't make or break your season by any means. If you lose, it doesn't mean, your season's over now, you're going to be terrible. And it doesn't mean, if you win that, you're the greatest thing in the state of Indiana. Fact of the matter is, it's another game. It's a very important game. And you want to come out here and win it. But it does help you kind of judge where you are from a competition standpoint, and not only that, but things you might need to work on, things you're doing good, and so it's just again kind of just judging where things are. But in the other side of things, you're still here to win a ball game as well. You're always looking to improve every game. So this is going to be definitely a very tough matchup here tonight. This is always a game that when you look at the calendar, you always circle. You want to be there to watch the action. And we're happy to bring it to you. Now, unfortunately, we're not able to do this game live this evening. But still, being able to be a part of this ball game and to be able to bring this to all of you, even though it's not live, it's still very, very important to us. And we're expecting great things here tonight by your Wapahani Lady Raiders. Getting into the stats here, we was taking a look at this earlier here today. I was getting some stats off of maxpreps.com. Wapahani and Yorktown, some things a little similar, other things maybe not so much. Now, credit, Yorktown has played 4 more games than we have. So that's a very important thing you got to really look at here. Wapahani on the season with 201 kills as a team, Yorktown with 351. So nearly, you're about 50 kills shy of doubling up. But again, they've played 4 more games than us. Now, how much that might equal out to once we get to, if we had 10 games under our belt compared to their 10, I don't know. But still, nevertheless, that's the comparison. 201 for us, 351 for Yorktown. That's an average of 12.6 kills per set for Wapahani, 13.5 for Yorktown. Hitting percentage we're much, much better on. A 346 hitting percentage compared to Yorktown's 298 hitting percentage. Also 19 blocks for us, Yorktown with 40. Also digs, the Tigers with 391, your Lady Raiders with 238. And also aces, that is one very important key I really want to look at here this evening. Wapahani with 40 aces compared to Yorktown's 42. So we are right there neck and neck when it comes to aces. So that's one of the, I guess, more important things that I really want to touch on here this evening is service pressure, keeping them on their heels, and not really allowing them to get comfortable at any point in time during the ball game. I think a lot of times, just being able to switch things up a little bit, not only from a serving standpoint, but offensively with hitting, little soft tips over the net, or you're going for the hammer shot, whatever the case might be. You want to kind of change things up a little bit. You want to keep your opponents off balance. And, that's one of the biggest keys here tonight because, just is what it is. Yorktown definitely knows how to block. They have some height on their team. They can get up. They can block some of these opportunities that Wapahani might look for. And, so we got to work our way around that and kind of pick and choose when to do it, when not to do it, and just keep Yorktown off balance. That's really about all you can do from an offensive side of the offensive side of the ball. Now, defensively, again, we've got to be getting after it. We've got to get to everything, and as impossible as that may seem, that's the way you got to look at things. That is one thing that Yorktown really flourishes in defensively, is being able to nearly get to everything. They get a hand in on every single ball. And so Wapahani just got to make sure, play within themselves, and and stick to what's gotten them here so far, and that's teamwork. These ladies really, for the most part here, has really done a nice job together getting the job done, and when there might be some adversity, they've been able to come through that adversity on the other side and on the winning side of the ball. And so hopefully that's another thing that's going to happen here tonight for us. Hopefully we'll be on the smiling side of the scoreboard. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a great, great ball game here tonight from Yorktown High School. So, folks, this has been our Raiders Eye pregame presented by B. Joseph Davis, attorney at law. We got tonight's national anthem and then lineups for both teams again between your 6-0 Wapahani Lady Raiders and a 10-0 Yorktown Lady Tigers. We'll be back with more right after this break.
We know the right way to get you where you need to go. We'll be the wheels underneath you, out on the road. We're driven to give you the best service. We're driven cause we know you deserve it. Stoops, we're driven to be the best. Stoops, we're driven to be the best.
All righty, folks, welcome back here on the WHS Network. We'll take a look here at tonight's lineups. Obviously going to be a little bit harder to see the team down there on the court, so we apologize for that. We'll take a look here at your Wapahani Lady Raiders. Number 1, Olivia Smith. Number 2, Reese Baker. Number 3, Emily Stewart. Number 4, Gracie Stanley. Number 5, Emma Shuck. Number 6, Ashton Zentgraff. Number 7, Chloe Cook. Number 8, Allison Stewart. Number 9, Mallory Summers. Number 10, Briley Felton. Number 11, Macy Bowden. Number 12, Cameron Wise. And number 16, Cadence Brewer. Again, the manager here for Wapahani, Mr. Alec Perry. Also the head coach for the Lady Raiders, this is Katie Weir, assisted by Paige Williamson, Lindy Davis, and Madison Mangus. Now we'll take a look here at the Yorktown Lady Tigers. Starting off here with number 2, Hannah Avila. Number 3, Courtney Watkins. Number 4, Ellie Stinson. Number 6, Jenny Morey. Number 7, Kate Vinson. Number 8, Brittany Bays. Number 9, Emily Hill. Number 10, Taryn Salee. Number 11, Lori Powers. Number 12, Abby Johnson. Number 13, Caitlin Judge. Number 14, Maddie Besser. Number 15, Gretchen Moore. And number 16, Jalen Dunsmore. Again, the Lady Tigers, coached by Mrs. Stephanie Bloom, assisted by Jerry Owens, as well as Rhonda Wilson, Heather Cochran, and Mike Dondrell. So again, that's tonight's lineups for both teams. Again, we'll have the national anthem coming up here in just a brief moment. And then, again, the start of tonight's ball game, again, between your Wapahani Lady Raiders and the Yorktown Lady Tigers.
Need legal advice or representation, you can trust B. Joseph Davis, attorney at law in Muncie. Our focus is personal injury. We handle cases involving serious injuries, wrongful deaths, all vehicle crashes, nursing home cases, medical product and drug recalls, and slips, trips, and falls. No fee until we win. We offer evening, weekend, home, and hospital appointments for your convenience. Contingency fee arrangements are available. For a free consultation, call B. Joseph Davis, attorney at law, today.
Alrighty, welcome back live here on the WHS Network here on YouTube.com as we are getting prepared here for tonight's matchup again between the 6-0 Wapahani Lady Raiders and the 10-0 Yorktown Lady Tigers. So the referees have, to my knowledge, have gotten the lineups all orchestrated out there on the floor. And we're ready for some volleyball, ladies and gentlemen. And here we go. Set up there to Watkins. Baker with the dig. Stewart sets it to Summers. Dug that time by Morey. And that will be a kill for number 13, Caitlin Judge, to get Yorktown on the board in a 1-0 lead. Dug out by Summers. Stewart with the setup to Shuck. Nice dig right there from, I think that was number 6, Morey once again. Set back to Summers once more. Softly hit over the net there by Stinson. But Summers back on the attack. And the Raiders have tied it at 1. First kill of the night there for Summers. Hopefully first of many this evening, as we'll see Cameron Wise back to serve. Set up and put down there by Maddie Besser. 2-1 Tigers. So we'll see Jenny Morey back to serve. Dug out by Baker. Stewart with a setup. Shuck puts it across. Here we go. Now Vinson will set up again there to, I think that might have been Besser on the play. Not sure. Smith, Stewart, Brewer, and they'll get there in time. Now Stinson will get it back across. Here we go. We'll free ball action. Set to Summers. Nice hands there to keep it going. And Smith won't get there in time. Well-placed ball there by the Lady Tigers, as it is now 3-1 Yorktown in tonight's opening set. Very nice crowd on hand on both sides. Again, this is always a very intriguing and interesting and highly competitive ball game to come to. Set over the net there from Stewart. Now we'll have Judge getting after it there. Smith set to Summers again. Kept alive. Smith gets there to dig it out. Now back to Shuck, and that's going to be in there. I think it was 4 hits anyway, but nonetheless, 4-1 Tigers. Brewer didn't flick the wrist enough quite much there. So a 5-1 Yorktown lead. There's Summers. Stewart with a setup back to Summers again. And great court vision there. Excellent opportunity for Summers, and great execution right there. Was able to get us back to our scoring ways. Here's we'll see Emily Stewart now in here for the first time tonight. She'll come in for Emma Shuck. 5-2 Tigers with Stewart back to serve. Dug out there, set up by Vinson, blocked, kept alive. Oh, nicely done, but Stewart, Emily Stewart that is, just barely had a hand over the line, and that was just enough to call any net violation. We'll see Brittany Bays now in here, and she'll be back to serve. Set up to Summers. There is Morey getting there in time. Summers with a setup and hit out of bounds. So Wapahani just off of their game right now. They need to slow things down just a little bit. Again, you can kind of tell they're rushing things. I don't know if it's just, I don't know, some butterflies, if you will. I don't know why that would be, but nevertheless, just kind of off of their game right now. But hopefully that will change. Baker gets the hands up. And 4 hits now on the Raiders. So not too good here early. 8-2 Tigers. Smith, Stewart, Brewer with soft touch over the net. Nice hands here by Baker. Now Summers back on the attack right there with the dig with Stinson. Got to find something here. Somehow dug out and get over the net there by Powers. And Dunsmore with a kill. 9-2 Yorktown. Got to say, a little surprised here that head coach Katie Weir has yet to take a timeout here yet. Just kind of slow things down, but hey, she might know her team obviously a lot better than I do because we was able to have that come to a screeching halt right there. Summers with the kill. Second kill now for Mallory. 9-3. Got to get yourself back into this one. Not completely out of it by any means, but gotta get things back together, regroup, and hopefully great things will start happening for you. Smith lays out for that one, nicely done. Set to Cook, and that one's going to fall in there for the first kill of the night there for Chloe Cook. And now it's 9-4. Again, Mallory Summers back to serve for the Raiders. Dug out there, bad pass. Kept alive. Smith with the setup to Cook. Dug out that time by Powers. Emily Stewart there, now to Allie Stewart. Summers will hit it out of bounds. Just a hair out there, but just enough. 10-4 Yorktown. We'll see Watkins back in for Yorktown. And Ellie Stinson back to serve. Smith with the dig. There's Summers. And now Allison Stewart gets it across. Dunsmore on the attack there. Here we go. Set up. Brewer on the attack. Blocked. Nice layout there by Emily. Cook on the attack that time. Dug out by Morey. Watkins. Now Smith. Stewart. Cook again. Dug out. And that is Cadence Brewer. Tipping it right back down where it came from. 10-5. First kill tonight there for Cadence. We'll see Olivia Smith back to serve. Also Cameron Wise back in here. Vinson with a setup there, and Emily Stewart won't get there in time. 10-5 here as we'll see Hannah Avila checking in here for Yorktown. Summers now to Smith. Wise on the attack here as Avila was right there, and that's going to be off the hands of Stewart there. A kill for Watkins. So again, a 12-5 lead. There's Stewart to Stewart, back to Cook. Watkins there to take care of business. She's back on the attack. Smith will dig it out. Nice job right there, but somehow they're going to keep it alive. Dig back out there. I'm telling you, Yorktown is just everywhere. I talked about that in our pregame. And how, I mean, it's seemingly they can get to every ball no matter where they are on the floor. They can get to it. Not only that, but they block everything as well. 14-5. And we're going to have a timeout by Wapahani. So we'll go ahead and take a timeout here with them. 14-5 Tigers, first set. We'll step aside and we'll be back with more right after this. Alrighty, folks, welcome back out of the timeout here. Again, a 14-5 lead here for Yorktown. Make that 15-5 as the Raiders so far have not been able to find an answer. Stewart with a dig. Stewart sets it now to Cook. Back here to Watkins. Cook keeps it alive, and that's going to head out of bounds again. So more miscues here by Wapahani. Unfortunate to see. It's open coming out of the timeout here. Just got to regroup here a little bit and get back to get back to hopefully a right train of thought, but right now it is not too good, unfortunately. So again, Avila still back to serve. Smith will dig it out. Stewart sets it there to Wise. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, they get to everything. Summers digs it out. Stewart. Now to Wise. Blocked again. Now to Cook. Dug out there. Tipped across. Here we go. Stewart with a setup. Back to Cook. My goodness. And another timeout by Wapahani. And we'll go ahead and stick right here with you during the timeout. Go ahead and thank some of our sponsors here this evening. Stoops Automotive Group, Buick and GMC dealership owned by Randy Stoops. They're located at 4055 West Clare Lane in Muncie, Indiana. Stoops has a wide variety of brand new and pre-owned vehicles of quality brand names. So if you have an interest in a vehicle or would like to know more information about one, you can contact Stoops at 765-288-1903 and also visit their online website at www.stoopsauto.com. Also, make sure to stop on in there. A good friend of mine, Dale Raines, will hook you right up. Nice car salesman. So make sure, again, look for Dale Raines. Ask for him, and he'll set you right up and get out there. Stoops Automotive Group, Buick and GMC dealership. Stoops is driven to be the best. So back out of the timeout. Yorktown up 19-5. And finally, the Raiders get another one back on the board, that time there by Cameron Wise. First kill of the night there for Cameron, now 19-6. Just got to get, back into the flow of things here. We've completely gotten ourselves away from whatever we normally do. And, now credit, Yorktown is solid team, no question about that. But, I think that we're right there. We're just making little mistakes, like that right there. Little things that normally we do good, not doing so good here tonight. So we just got to clean some things up here. And so that was, okay, it was a point there for the Tigers. Not sure what the call was. I actually originally thought it was over the net on Yorktown, but that wasn't the call. And now they hit the antenna, and it is now 22-6 Yorktown. I got to admit, I didn't see this coming. I really didn't. I mean, very surprising. But nevertheless, you got to play with the hands that you're dealt with here, and right now you're dealt with a 22-6 deficit. You want to collect as many points as you possibly can here. Watkins on the attack, blocked. There's Summers with a dig. Summers digs it again. Set this time, blocked. Now Stewart sets it over to Cook. So we got Kate Benson back to serve. Nice hands there by Shuck. Just to get it back across right there and see what can happen. And a bad set there over the net and out of bounds. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't, not quite understanding here. I mean, we look like a completely different team here tonight. Again, I don't know if it's just because of the overall name of Yorktown. I know that for whatever reason that always has something to do with sports in general, no matter what sport it is. But for goodness sake, I know we're a lot better than this, and we have a net violation. That's going to end the first set. So 25-6, Tigers take set number one. We'll step aside, and we'll be back here with set number two coming up here on the WHS Network.
Stop on in at Jones Auto Body, owned by J.R. Payne in the 1901 East Memorial Drive in Muncie, Indiana. Jones Auto Body is one of Muncie's oldest and largest auto repair and paint shops, in which they have been serving the community for over 30 years. Jones Auto Body, assurance of quality.
All right, welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen. Again, here on the WHS Network on YouTube.com during our Stoops Automotive Group Buick and GMC game break here in between sets. 25-6 first set victory here for Yorktown. And, touched on it, quite a few different times. I was very surprised. In all honesty, I did not see that first set going that way at all. And if anyone else said that, I would imagine that they would be lying. We just simply didn't play like ourselves. We're much, much, much better than that. Now, again, give credit where credit's due. Yorktown, they're good. There's no question about that. But again, so are we. It's nothing I don't think that there's that much of a difference talent-wise from us to them. Now, again, I mentioned earlier, yes, there is a difference experience-wise, a big difference, but still at the end of the day, we was making little errors here and there that really hurt us. They went on, continued long runs, and that's something you can't have happen. So got to clean it up, got to play the game the way that we know how to play it, and obviously that wasn't, the way we played in the first set. That just was an unfortunate series of events is what I would just consider it as, and hopefully we get back at it here in set number 2 and play the game that we're more capable of playing it. So I'm sure it's going to be a little, disappointing, obviously for the team and for the coaching staff as well. Head coach Katie Weir coming back here. She used to be known as Katie Vasilakis, rather. Fantastic player out here at Yorktown, coming back to her alma mater, if you will, and so I'm sure, in some ways, I'm sure, not only does she want to win for her team's sake, but kind of stick it a little bit there to the other opponent. Just saying, hey, I can still do my thing here as well. But we'll see what happens here in set number 2. And a good start there for the Lady Raiders. 1-0 off the kill from Cameron Wise, her second of the night. We will see Reese Baker back to serve here for the Raiders. Benson with a setup there to Watkins, mistimed, and Shuck and Wise didn't quite know what to do with it right there. Softly hit. Just kind of rolled right off of him, as we'll see number 11, Rory Powers, back at it for Yorktown. And that's going to be served out of bounds. So, little things like that. Yorktown's usually not accustomed to, having quite a few serving errors in a ball game, but anything you can do to build momentum for yourself and keep trending in the right direction here. And nobody able to get there in time for that one. Now 2-2. Morey back to serve. Also Brewer now in here for Wapahani. There's Baker, now to Stewart. Set up here to Summers. Back on the attack right there was Judge. Summers back at it again, off the hands there of Vinson. Set to Stinson, dug out by Baker. Kept alive. And yes, Summers puts it down with some authority. And a great job by Wapahani just overall right there to keep the ball in the air. Just long enough to have a nice little setup there to Mallory Summers. 3-2 Raiders. And Emily Stewart back to serve. Skimmed over the top of the net. Here we go. Set up. And miscue there by the Tigers. Now 4-2 Raiders. A fine serve there by Emily. Dunsmore on the attack there. We'll see number 8, Brittany Bays, back in for Yorktown. And she will be back to serve. Stewart to Summers. And out of bounds. Stewart with a setup back to Summers again. Hit off of Dunsmore. Back to Dunsmore on the curl around. I think that might have been 4, but we're going to say there was a tip involved there, and that is off of Baker, out of bounds, and point for Yorktown, as that is a 3-0 run. So if you're Wapahani, you got to find a way to get a point right here. You can't afford to have Yorktown get back after it again. Another serving error. And we'll see Chloe Cook back in here for the Lady Raiders. And Mallory Summers now back to serve. And then we give one right back to them. Watkins now in for Yorktown. And number 4, Ellie Stenson serving. Cook on the attack, dug out by Amore. Oh man, on the house, she got away with that lift. Goodness gracious. That was over the net, and they made the call there. Okay, actually a net violation. Either way, tied now at 6. And we'll have Olivia Smith back to serve for Wapahani. Also Cameron Wise now in for Cadence Brewer. Dug out there by Stenson. Watkins on the attack. And so far, Watkins kind of having her way. Avila back in, and she's back to serve. Stewart digs it. Stewart now to Wise, and off the hands of Watkins, out of bounds there. 7-all. So Wise with the kill there, number 3. So Allison Stewart back to serve here for Wapahani. Nice little wraparound there by Besser. Able to get it to land in on the far right corner. So again, taking 8-7 lead. And now number 7, Kate Vinson, back to serve for the Tigers. Summers to Stewart, to Wise, dug out there by Vinson. Watkins back on the attack. Tipped across by Wise. Set back to Watkins once more. Now Smith, Stewart, set over to Cook. And Stenson will get there in time. And speaking of which, Stewart won't get there in time to dig that one out. And now 9-7 Yorktown. Set to Wise. Now back to Watkins, and that was tipped off of a Wapahani defender. And a timeout will be called here by Wapahani. So again, they're hanging right in there. Obviously, we're playing a ton better than the way we did in the first set. But you know, you can't afford to have your opponent go on these runs, especially to the likes of Yorktown. So we'll see what happens coming out of the timeout. Some big points coming up here for Wapahani. You can't allow Yorktown to really get too far ahead, because you don't want to just continue to play catch up, and that's just not a very good idea or thinking of things. So we've got to hit the ground running coming right out of this timeout. Get back at it. Hopefully, put a nice little rally together here for ourselves, and not only tie the game up, hopefully take the lead, but nonetheless, you find yourself down by 3 points here. No reason to panic by any means, but just got to start picking it up a notch. So again, out of the timeout, we'll have Kate Vinson back to serve for Yorktown. There's Summers. Stewart with a setup now to Cook. Blocked, but there's Shuck. Unfortunately, some of this is also unfortunate for us with a lack of height advantage. Like what Yorktown might have, a miscue there. So 5 unanswered now by the Tigers. Wapahani has got to figure out something here. It's a must, not even a want to. You have to have it, and unable to get it right there. They have completely, I think, discombobulated us once again here, keeping us off balance. And again, that's one of the biggest names of the games right there, is just to keep your opponent off balance. And that's what they've managed to do. Smith, Stewart, Cook, blocked. And again, the height advantage of Yorktown playing a key role. Nice dig there from Stewart, then shot. Smith will get it over. Now Cook back on the attack, and another block for the Tigers. It has been a block party. Goodness gracious. And another block. And timeout taken by the Raiders. 17-7 Tigers. They've went on a 10-0 run. We'll be back with more on the WHS Network. All right, folks, back out of the timeout here. Again, Brandon Morvillas alongside here with his cameraman, Jordan Redbeard McCoy. Again, we appreciate you for joining us here this evening. Not been too great here for us, unfortunately, through these first set and a half, but again, you have some hope here. Hopefully we can put something together. Anything. Kept alive, set up this time to Cook. Bad thing is, I mean, again, you got to give Yorktown so much credit here. I mean, being able to be everywhere on the floor, I mean, it's just, well, quite frankly, just ridiculous. I mean, it's hard to ever see some team be everywhere on the floor at all times. And you look at Yorktown, I mean, they're everywhere. Kid you not. Now, of course, right there, I'm glad of that there by Emma Schuck, but I mean, they're moving constantly, and you know, they somehow get to a ball where you don't think that they would, but they do, where other teams might not. You know, that's one of the biggest differences. Now, again, I think we've played much better here in this second set without question, but you know, again, it's just some of the little things that normally we don't do, and tonight, for whatever reason, we are doing those things. So, you know, it's no hammering or anything whatsoever. It's just, it is what it is, and hopefully you correct some of those errors, whatever they might be, and learn from them and get better. So we will see Taryn Salee as well as Emily Hill for Yorktown. Seeing them for the first time tonight. Which there's a lot of factors, you know, when you really look at things here for Wapahani that you can say. And so now a conversation here between, I guess, line judges and the referees. They said it was out, that no one had touched it. She had hit the ball, went off the net, and out of bounds. And so now it is a point for Yorktown. So a net violation on the Raiders. Now 21-9. So Moore back in here. We're actually seeing her first action of the night, excuse me, there for Yorktown. I think they might have got that one wrong. That was a clean hit. That looked to have been blocked by the Yorktown defender, and then the ball went off of the antenna. But they're saying point Yorktown. I think they got that one wrong. I mean, I'm not a referee by any means, but I think that one was a little bit off the mark. And a net violation called on Yorktown. Point there for Wapahani, now 22-10. And we'll see Emily Stewart back in for Wapahani. And now hit into the net by Stinson. Nice serve there from Emily, set up. Stinson on the attack there, with Smith with the dig. It's out there to Summers. Dug out by Vincent, or Morey, pardon me. Smith, now to Summers. Nice job right there. Also now in here, Macy Bowden. Just came in a moment ago. Forgot to announce her name, but good to see her in there tonight. Smith, Bowden, Summers, and 2 hits called on Wapahani. We'll see Abby Johnson now subbing in for the Tigers. Bowden now to Brewer. Winning recipe right there for point number 13. Cook back in here for Baker. And serving will be number 9, Mallory Summers. Morey with the dig, set up. Stinson on the attack. So set point here for Yorktown. And we'll see Watkins back in here for the Tigers. And serving will be number 4, Ellie Stinson. Set up to Cook. Stinson back on the attack dugout that time. Bowden there to Brewer. Kept alive. Watkins now to Cook. And miscommunication there, and that will cost the Raiders a second set. 25-13, 2-0 lead here for the Tigers. We'll step aside here for a break. Again, this will be our Stoops Automotive Group Buick and GMC dealership game break. 25-6, 25-13. Tigers lead it 2-0.
We know the right way to get you where you need to go. We'll be the wheels underneath you, out on the road. We're driven to give you the best service. We're driven cause we know you deserve it. Stoops, we're driven to be the best. Stoops, we're driven to be the best.
You need legal advice or representation, you can trust B. Joseph Davis, attorney at law in Muncie. Our focus is personal injury. We handle cases involving serious injuries, wrongful deaths, all vehicle crashes, nursing home cases, medical product and drug recalls, and slips, trips, and falls. No fee until we win. We offer evening, weekend, home, and hospital appointments for your convenience. Contingency fee arrangements are available. For a free consultation, call B. Joseph Davis, attorney at law, today.
All right, welcome back here, folks. Appreciate you all for joining us again here this evening. If you are just now catching some action here on the WHS network in Yorktown, took the first 2 sets here from your Wapahani Lady Raiders, 25-6, 25-13. So now we look to set number 3, and again, I mean, in some ways, you know, yes, our experiences or inexperience is kind of showing through a little bit. It's not necessarily completely all about experience. You know, we've had our fair share of miscues, but, you know, there's a lot of things we've done good tonight here as well. I thought we played pretty well there in that second set. You know, yeah, there's some things that, yes, we could have done differently, but, you know, obviously the result wasn't what we wanted. But, you know, we kept fighting, kept clawing, and tried to get somewhat back into things. But, you know, when you allow a 10-0 run like that, that's going to be hard to come back no matter what team you are, and no matter who you're playing against. If you allow a 10-0 run, that's going to be tough. And that's what we've got to get away from. We can't afford to have situations like that we're putting ourselves in a big predicament with Yorktown going on long runs. And for whatever reason, I've seen that the last couple years. I know last year we've seen a lot of that where, you know, Yorktown would go on these long runs and just, you know, put the hammer to us. And you can't afford that to happen. You know, and granted, you know, yeah, we've seen that happen on the flip side of things. We've also been, you know, blessed at times throughout not only this season but in years past where, you know, in a ball game, we might be playing a team that might not be as good, and we'll go on a nice long run. So, you know, we understand the flip side, and, you know, we understand both sides of the spectrum here. But either way, it's still never a good feeling to not be where you want to be. And these first 2 sets haven't went our way, but hopefully this third set will get us right back into the thick of things, and we'll see what happens. But Watkins has other ideas here for Yorktown. She will start off here with a kill. And we'll have number 8, Brittany Bays, back to serve. And that's going to be served out of bounds, now tied here at 1. So, again, you know, really we started out that second set pretty good. It was tied at 7. Like I said, Yorktown went on a 10-0 run. And next thing you know, you're down 17-7, whereas just a second ago it was just 7-7, so little things like that. If we can keep ourselves here within striking distance, you got to believe that anything can happen here. Because, that's the kind of talent that we have, but we've got to keep it close and we've got to play smart. Well-placed ball there by Emma Shuck. Now a 2-1 Lady Raider lead here in set number 3 of the evening. We'll have Cameron Wise back here to serve. And that's going to be out of bounds. And shanked backwards off the hands there of Summers. Now 3-2 Tigers. So, right here, if you're Wapahani, that's where it stands right there. You can't allow them to go on any kind of run. It's 3-2. All right, let's get this next point here. Find a way to get it done. And unfortunately, tipped out of bounds. You see those blockers coming on. I wouldn't necessarily say that she's getting scared right there by any means, but, changing up her mind, mid hit, you got to kind of figure out what you're going to do before you do it, as we have a 2-hit call on the Raiders, now 5-2 Tigers, now a 4-0 run. Again, you have to halt these runs. That's the biggest thing. I know it's like beating a dead horse right now, because I've said it so many times, but golly, if we can just stop some of the runs that they've went on, it could be a whole different ball game, so to speak. Not saying that Yorktown might not have won that second set, but still, nevertheless, you can't dwell on the past, and you got to look at the present right here. You're only down by a couple. Make it now only 1 after Mallory Summers puts down that for a kill. Again, Emily Stewart back to serve. A short serve right there, set up there by Vinson. And 2 hits called on the Tigers, so Wapahani answered right back with 3 consecutive points. And point there for the Raiders. 6-5. So now a 4-0 run. We're able to answer them right back. And that's what you look to see right here if you're the coaching staff here by Wapahani. What kind of fight are these girls going to show? Are they just going to kind of lay down and just take the loss? That's not how you do things. And that's not the Raider way. And so, you keep getting after it, you keep playing hard, you keep playing together, and hopefully at some point good things will happen. We've started to see a little bit of that right here, right now. You've went on a 5-0 run, and you got to keep it going. And even if it doesn't happen, you try to go get the next point afterwards. Looked like Tigers might have got away with a net violation there after Dunsmore got a kill, make it 7-6. We'll have Avila back to serve. Smith there to Stewart. Now back to Summers, tipped over the net, and nobody gets there in time. And 8-6 Raider lead. Subbing in now for the Lady Raiders will be number 7, Chloe Cook, for number 2, Reese Baker. And number 9, Mallory Summers back to serve. Unfortunate error right there, served into the net. Now 8-7 ball game. Watkins back in for the Tigers. And Ellie Stinson serving. Stewart with a dig, set up. Now Summers will get it across. Watkins on the attack and right in between the defenders of Summers and Stewart. Tied now at 8. Summers digs it out. Stewart with a setup over to Cook. Yes! Now that's what we're wanting to see a little bit more of here tonight. That was kind of the idea that we all had, I'm sure. Smith there back to serve. There's Dunsmore. Set right back to her. Stewart. Now Smith with a setup to Cook again. Morey with a dig. Vinson now to Stinson. Good action right there by Smith and Stewart. And another kill for Chloe Cook. And the Raiders back on top here by a couple. You're starting to see the positive vibes flowing again here. These first 2 sets, again, they haven't went quite the way you wanted. It is what it is. It's about what you do now. And the Raiders have done definitely a better job, but you gotta keep progressing in that same direction. It's good to see these ladies tending to come out here and try to put things together. Stewart with a setup back over to Cook again. Stinson will get there. Now back to Wise and out of bounds. So no tip call on the block. We're tied here at 10. You got a number 11, Rory Powers, back there to serve. Set back up to Cook again. Nice placement. And again, now you're starting to see us keep them off balance a little bit by changing it up. Not always necessarily going for the home run, but in the same token, you don't want to also go with a little soft tip over the net either. That's why, again, that's about keeping the opponents off balance. Yorktown's done a pretty good job of that here tonight. We're starting to now come around and do some of those same things. And 2 hits called, and I got to say this as well. There has been more 2-hit calls probably in this game here this evening than we've probably nearly had all year. So another little crucial error, and it just hasn't been us. Yorktown, they've had it called a few times here as well. Smith with a dig. Stewart sets it over to Shuck. Watkins back on the attack, blocked but out of bounds. And that will make it a 1-point lead here for the Lady Tigers. It's got to keep fighting. Done a good job through the first 11. 12 points here in this third set. Just got to keep chugging along. Nice court vision there by Smith. Recognizing exactly where she was on the floor. Watch it sail out of bounds, and it's a 12-12 ball game. Wise back in for the Raiders, and Reese Baker back to serve. Nice serve there from Reese. Stewart with a setup to Wise. 13-12 Raiders. And a timeout will be taken by the Tigers. Some good action now here by Wapahani. Showing some life. That's what you want to see, folks. 13-12. Wapahani leads here in set number 3. We'll be back right after this timeout. All righty, folks, back out of the timeout here again. 13-12 lead here for Wapahani coming out of the break. And again, here's Reese Baker will be back to serve here for their Lady Raiders. Man, a very nice serve right there, close to the net. Smith with the dig. Stewart with a set up to shot. And unable to get there in time is Morey. This is great. Gosh, that only if we could have played like this in the first two sets. This would be because this is the way that we normally see Wapahani play. And sometimes you're not going to be, on the right side of things all the time. You hope to be, but this is the way that they're capable of playing. Obviously, you can tell. They kind of had that, a little renewed vigor here a little bit. Have some confidence built. Maybe an understanding of, hey, maybe we can hang with these guys here a little bit. Right now, I think you can do a little bit more than just hang with them right now. Stand right there with it. Nicely done. Set up. Little free ball action there for Yorktown. Watkins on the attack. There's Summers. Stewart. Now to Summers again. Tipped up in the air. Here we go again. Back to Watkins. Wise laying out for it. Back to Summers again. Nicely done by Morey. And 15-13. As we'll see Brittany Bays back in here for Yorktown. And I talked about that in our pregame this evening, our Raiders Live pregame, about how, regardless of what happens in a game, it's a learning experience, and you look to get better each and every single ball game. Here's Wapahani will take a timeout. So we'll take a little pause in the action here. Well, not from us, but the action here is, it's a 15-14 lead here for Wapahani in the third set. But, you look at every ball game and the ups and downs throughout a ball game and look at what we've done so far. And, now that we play against tougher competition, such as Yorktown, such as Jay County on Thursday, it's going to be a test to kind of show us where we're at. And I also, mentioned, if you lose, it doesn't mean the season's over. If you win, it doesn't mean you're the best team in the state. It just means, you got the best of one of the better teams in the state of Indiana. But you keep building off of each game, no matter whether you win or you lose. Obviously, you hope to win. But at the end of the night, hopefully, Wapahani gets better. That's what you look for. Win, loss, draw, I don't care what it is. You look to get better. So then, if you face these guys again, not only do you have a better understanding of the style they play, but then you can adjust to that style and hopefully use it to your advantage and be able to get the best of it. So a tied here at 15. Bays again still back there to serve. We'll have Smith with the dig. Stewart with the setup to Summers. And she'll put that in there for the kill. 16-15. Cadence Brewer now back in here for Wapahani. We'll have Cameron Wise back to serve. Morey there to Vinson, and Stinson will get it in there along the sideline. Baker will dig it out and set to Summers. Great job right there. Recognizing where the defenders were and obviously where they weren't. Found that back corner. A well-executed ball right there by Mallory. Just some of the things we're accustomed to seeing. Emily Stewart back to serve. Morey with a dig. Set up there by Vinson. Dug out by Stewart. Oh, and then another 2-hit call on the Raiders. Very unfortunate mistake right there, but now we'll see Hannah Avila serving for Yorktown. Nice job there by Allison Stewart throwing the defense off balance. Really about the best play that she had on the ball. So definitely executed very, very well there by Allison. Set up there to Dunsmore. Kept alive, and that's going to be a kill there for Dunsmore. Watkins back in the ball game. So tied here at 18. Definitely the most competitive set here so far. As the Raiders continue to fight, get after it. And Dunsmore again with the old wraparound. And we'll have a timeout taken by Wapahani. We'll go ahead and take a timeout here with them. The Raiders down by 1, 19-18 here in the third set. We'll be back with more on the WHS Network. All right, folks, following the timeout here again, 19-18, Yorktown leads. Here in set number 3 again, if you are just now joining us, Yorktown took the first 2 sets, 25-6, 25-13. And again, those first 2 sets, Wapahani definitely did not play the way that they normally do. Just a rough first 2 sets. And, you know, you got to give credit where credit's due there by Yorktown, but Wapahani just did not play their style of game, the way that they normally play. So, much better here in this third set. Nicely done there, Allison Stewart. Able to get it to go over there and down in their play for a kill, 20-19. And Olivia Smith back to serve. Good lands. We got Smith, Stewarts, and Summers, and everything else going on. Dunsmore putting the hammer onto that one. The height, not to mention being able to generate all that momentum as she goes behind the setter. The setter sets her the ball and gets tons of force behind that ball. So a miscue there by the Tigers. Wapahani looking to execute on it here. Emma Shuck back into the Raider lineup. And Allison Stewart back to serve. Got a close one here in this third set, folks. 21-20. Nice set from Allison, and Yorktown's going to get it over. Set to Wise and blocked again. Summers, Stewart, to Shuck. Dug out there by Stinson. And that should have been 4. And unfortunately it was not, so a point there for the Tigers. Skipped it over the top of the net. That's going to be an ace. And so now we got match point. 24-20, Tigers lead it. As they look for the sweep here of your Wapahani Lady Raiders. Hopefully, Wapahani might have some other ideas, hopefully. Dug out there, kept alive. Stewart with a set up to Cook. Watkins on the attack. That's all she wrote. Nice hustle there by Smith, but unfortunately, couldn't get it done here tonight. 25-20, third set victory there for Yorktown as they sweep your Wapahani Lady Raiders 25-6, 25-13, 25-20. Yorktown now improves to 11-0 on the year. Wapahani now falls to 6-1. And, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to have a post-game report because we have got to get things cleaned up and get out of here rather quickly. But I'll just kind of leave you guys on this note. A lot much more fight here by Wapahani here in this third set. Not only fight, but just overall they just played better. They played the way that we have seen them play through the first 6 games of the year. Now, again, they are young, so yes, inexperience does come in to be a factor. But still, at the end of the day, I mean, we have the talent. Yorktown obviously has the talent. I do have more experience. But, those first 2 sets really did a number on us, especially that first set. It was very unfortunate what happened. We didn't play the game, the way that we should have. And it is what it is. You can't, I guess, dwell on the loss, other than the fact of you look to get better now. Understand the things you did wrong, correct those mistakes, get better from it, and then look at all the things you did do good and just continue to build off of what you did good, and then blend that in with things you got to work on to get better, and this will be a nice, well-oiled machine. So, and I've touched on it here in the pregame as well. Win or lose here tonight, you use this as a building block, a stepping stone to get better and to improve as a team and to see where you're at right now. I think we are there from a competitive level with Yorktown. You just can't afford to make that many mistakes and expect a team of that caliber not to execute on it. So if we're able to clean up some of those things, the little mental errors, we had quite a few of those. If we just eliminate those, or at least do a better job, then, golly, that's going to be a whole different ball game and a whole different outlook on things. Because, we was right there, and the third set proved it. We're right there. Can't afford to allow them to get on a run like they have, and is what it is. Like I said, that's about the only way you can look at it. You can't do anything about it now except for use what you did good, build off of that. Things you did poorly, look at that, analyze it, fix it, and get better. But really looking forward to Thursday night's game. Again, next telecast will be on Thursday at home against Jay County to take on the Lady Patriots. Make sure to join us for that one live on the WHS Network, probably around 7:15 there for that one. We appreciate you all for joining us. Thanks to all of our sponsors. So until Thursday night, folks, Brandon Warvillis alongside cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy. Have a great night, folks.